Turn on recording. Okay, so what are we thinking?
I was thinking is double TP top and it's a Camille, she could just E away and Cassante doesn't have that much setup and he doesn't do that much damage early, so I thought definitely play for bot.
Yep, yep. The one thing with Heimerdinger, so Heimerdinger is kind of like ADS support, ADC support or steroids, right? He like gets like the most insane prio. That's why the champion is being played in like pro play and high level.
Oh yeah, perma push.
Yeah, so that's something you can utilize. For example, you probably clear a bit faster, Nocturne, not that much faster, but maybe we can look for the invade angle if you do get the prio here. Also, it's a
Like
pretty
level
good
3 invade you mean?
level 4. After full clear, you can maybe look for either invade the Crump or just fight for the
Oh yeah,
Scuttle.
yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I wouldn't go level 3 on Hecarim. So if you get the free start of like having a really far pushed up bottom lane, just like take the freebie, right?
True.
But yep, obviously it can go either way. Xayah, oh my god, this game, man. What? This is cancer for Hecarim. If you went like first big order, you need to play something else here. Actually, all your champions sucks. What do you play? Diana, Hecarim, what else?
Dyna, Hecarim, Nocturne, uh, Rengar,
Oh yeah, that's all trash. Holy shit! Look at this gold
J4,
comp.
maybe J4.
Ah, J faction could work. I mean, you're gonna get one shot by Xayah, but at least you can like, at least you cannot escape the fucking ult. But yeah, this is looking like a horrendous Hecarim game. Holy shit, it just can't jump in.
What would you pick into this or any champ if I could play anything?
Yeah, I mean, any champ, you would need to play something like fucking Cartus. I don't know. Uh,
Oh, I see. Yeah,
there's
I
not
can see
much you
that
can
for
do. Yeah, like
Karthus.
you need something ranged. You know, you cannot really go melee range into these guys. Vladimir's gonna pull
Oh,
up.
like Kindred maybe, and then like level 3 invade
Yeah.
Nocturne with Prio.
Oh yeah, Kindred would be really nice actually. Kindred could work here. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Also really scaling comp, so maybe something early game, so you can kind of mess up the Nocturne. But yeah, that's beside the point. But yeah, bot lane expecting heavy prio. So this is again something which is kind of Heimerdinger specific. But he's also really good into hook supports because of the turret interaction. It just stops the
Oh yeah,
fucking
he can
hook.
just place it down and
Yeah.
block the hook.
Yep. If they are human being, of course. But yeah, bot lane is expecting heavy prio. So yeah, for example, this game, if you were playing against something which likes to gank a bit earlier than Nocturne, maybe we could look for anticipation ganks. Or, I mean, counter ganks.
Yep.
Oh, I love this. Okay, so if you want to trap, if you are expecting the trade to happen, but you don't want to leave your red side protected, I use this. I drop the ward over here, and you get in time to disperse before the invade happens. If your
Could you
team
say
is
that
like
again?
holding here. Uh, so if your team is stacking and you're
Yeah.
expecting level 1 invade, what you could do is you could do exactly this. But I would drop the ward here. Can you see my cursor?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, so I would drop my ward here, so it shows if people like kind of come across the red buff or even kind of go to the raptor brush here. But in general, this is almost always going to show you the invade if it happens on this side, and then you can be stacking with your team here.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
Does it make
I don't have to
sense?
walk as far.
Yeah, because now we're kind of like now we are really late to it because our ward
Yeah.
we could be there like hitting people and stuff. We've been protecting our team if they like if the play turns bad, at least we would be there to maybe pick up some kills, maybe at least get them away or stuff like that.
True. True. That's good to know. Cause I get into this scenario pretty often now with late invades being so common in the elo.
Yeah. Mm, yeah, the mid lane is kind of scuffed as well. Uh, okay. So another thing I always want to also think about, I forgot to mention, is where does the Nocturne want to play? That's another thing we always want to think about. Where do we want to play and where does the enemy want to play? So if we were Nocturne this game, what would you do?
If I was Nocturne this game, I mm,
Yeah, what would you do?
I think either's probably fine, but I think bot's probably preferable.
What did you say? Mid?
I think both like pathing top or bot is both decent options, but I think bot is definitely better because it's tank top Cassante with TP.
Yeah, yeah. So one good thing we have going on the bot lane for Nocturne side is the flash hook from or flash AA from Nautilus. So at least we get a lot
Yeah,
of CC. So we have Nocturne with the fear. Obviously, probably won't get into fear range unless this gets away with like no one wards anything. But we do have a lot of CC on the bottom side here.
true.
But the thing is that the enemy bot lane is again expected on my team's bot lane or our team's bot lane this scenario. They are expected to get the prio. So what that usually means that they also get to ward, right? They get to place the
Yeah,
best wards in the history of League of Legends. So yeah, probably. But yeah, Cassandra is really difficult to gank. For Nocturne side, this will probably look like a level 6 game. Level 6 this bot lane really enables because Heimerdinger can no longer like counter the existence of Nautilus because he's just ult through the turrets anyway, right? And then we have also Xayah with the ult to insta root and stuff like that. So level 6, you really unlock the bot potential and top potential as well with the Camille ult. And of course, Camille gets Sandra. She starts really to hurt this Cassante. Also, mid lane is really immobile. So if this guy has no Psalms, it's a really easy gank for the Nocturne. That's another thing.
true.
Mm. Yeah, so where would I pad this Nocturne? Yeah, I mean, it
Definitely
doesn't
bot.
really. Yeah, probably towards bottom side still, because again, like it's still the volatility of like a hook support and a lot of CC. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. So probably gotta be matching the Nocturne towards the bot side. But if you were Nocturne and the enemy, you were playing something like Kindred, you could not pad towards bottom side because you just get like cancer invaded and it's game over.
Yeah, I bat to prio instead, like top lane.
Yeah. Yep.
Or if I was against a Kindred this game, I could bat top. I mean, I could. Never mind. Never mind. I forgot I bought prio. I mixed up the team comps.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess it's a maybe it's a bot lane. I guess bot show on time. So
Yeah, I think
I don't
he
know.
uh hid when leashed us. But I assumed bot top start.
Yep. Yep. You usually get to assume something. But when you do arrive to the bot side, we have to be really careful of the Nocturne actually being there. So
Yep.
or even if you go top side, so kind of always we have to kind of scout the area before we actually go for any plays or stuff like that. Yep. Nautilus things happen. But dies. Just get the wave in. Yeah, they do. Okay. So yep, nothing going on here. Now we can probably look to contest the scuttle since our bot lane. So again, the same concept as we had before was when your laner dies, they will have prio soon because the other laner will
Yeah.
be gone later, right? Yeah.
Yep. Enemy bots reset right now, walking from base, so I
Yep.
prio.
Yep. So they can move to the scuttle, for example. Here again, as we talked about last time as well, we want to be aware of the nearby lane. But this time, bot lane is obviously no one is there. No one cares about bot. Bot is lost. Yeah. So when no one is bot, obviously it's the nearby lane, but maybe I would be looking towards the mid lane. What's going on mid lane? Again, especially when we are arriving to the scuttle, I want to be aware of like what's the mid lane situation. If the Nocturne pops from here, can the Vladimir move as well? Do I fight him with the bot prayer or what? But yeah, Nocturne obviously shows top side. So yeah, we probably go for the board. He wards top side. So this is not a good thing. Um, Especially when you're playing full clear junglers. So what we all usually look for is when we are patting towards spot, we always look for if the enemy laner disappears in the brush. But we also want to use it like for laners in general. So Vladimir obviously disappears in the top side of the map. It's probably rotating actually, but again, I would be accepting him to have warded the top side, right?
Oh yeah, true.
So
Yeah, I
that's
pinged it right there.
yeah. So that's something you can also use to um, kind of get cheeky ganks off.
Yep. Like I can dodge vision like that.
Yeah. Also, one thing here. Did he do scuttle? He didn't do scuttle. So that's another thing I'll always check for when they go for the scuttle time a gank. Have they actually took the scuttle? So what this usually means, they usually take the scuttle as well, right? So maybe we can take the crux even on spawn, or go for the bot play after. So one thing you could also experiment with is when they do this full clear gank and it goes kind of late, and then they still have the scuttle up. They almost always gonna just go for the scuttle, right? So we can still go to
Usually,
the Crux. Oh, what?
usually what I notice is people just like ignore the first cuddle because it's so like low
Yeah.
value with the XP, right? So usually I just don't even assume they're gonna go on it.
Yep, I mean, that's fair. People usually do ignore it. I ignore it, but I see a lot of people
Yeah,
who
same.
don't. But yeah. Yep, Vladimir, impossible to gank. Unfortunate. But yep, maybe we could actually look for a regank now that the pool is down. But oh, we don't have mana.
Yes,
But
three
yep,
mana.
we see Nocturne on the ward. Bang a ward. Perfect. Yep, there's really nothing going on here. Go for the Drake. Okay, good.
I thought wait for Heimer to get a bit closer.
Yeah. Another thing is again Jinx. Zero resource.
Yep.
But Jaime can really help you though. But he's only level 3 as
Yeah.
well, so. Let's
I
see, can we
wasn't
set
worried
away?
about getting collapsed on because Nocturne was top because we knew he
Yeah,
was
Nocturne
clearing to
camps
top
should
side
be top
because
side.
of
Yeah,
ward.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so this is kind of the idea with the top side start. You get to do this, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Especially if they start bot side. Like it's so free to kind of go for this Drake on almost on spawn. But yeah, we did trade Drake for top gank. It's pretty good. In scenarios where the enemy holds Herald, this can be a bit problematic, right? Because if they actually have Herald, they're gonna get so many more plates, right?
True.
So we have to kind of be careful when we are going for this kind of sneaky Baron when the enemy is top side. Uh, our top laner really needs to be aware that they are weak side right now. Oh yeah, yeah, so close to 6. We could have probably forced and just get to level 6, but I'm not sure of the sums. If Xayah has sums, it's not doable. But
Yeah,
if
I
she
was honestly
doesn't,
a bit scared of getting a 2v3 because my HP is so low. Even with her, I just get one shot.
yeah,
So I didn't want to flip it there.
yeah, I guess. Yep. Oh, oh, but here's one big thing though. Xayah actually uses E on the wave here, so that could kind
Oh,
of be our
that's
Q.
true. That's true. That's true.
But yep, it's fine. It's still kind of a flippy play to make, but then again, Nocturne on the top side known. One XP of 6. I think it's doable. But yep. Oh, that was right on time. Zeroed up in 1 minute. Um, okay, so out of base batting, I would probably still just go for the Crux here.
Oh yeah, because both are spawned, so it would be a. I wouldn't be walking back and forth as much. I'd
Uh,
just be in a straight line, like
yeah, I
you
mean,
in Starcrux.
yeah, I mean, in general, if you want to, because we are really close to 6, and obviously we are 0 KP, we probably want to make something happen. And what's gonna happen is probably gonna be a pulse play, right? Because then we get ult, they don't have ult set, awesome, big time. So, oh wait, actually, then Raptors would make more sense because then we would be closer to the bot side anyway. Does this steal them on spawn? He did. Okay. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. I got entirely lost in thought. But my main idea here is that I want level 6. I want to use them bot. But that's also what Nocturne wants to do here. So that's something we have to be kind of careful of. I think he's just gonna ult bot here, and then it's kind of out of our control this game. I think that's what's gonna happen because now he's arrived to the bot side. He's level 6 already.
Exactly.
Yeah, we just probably have to trade for the top. Oh, Nocturne doesn't even need to gank. The bot lane is getting stomped. Okay. But again, I want to be looking mid now because I was expecting the ult, and we are nearby mid. Maybe we can make something happen in the mid lane. And again, as mentioned, Swain low mobility, really easy gank for the Nocturne if he doesn't have sums.
Yep.
But yep, just danger ping the fuck out of Xante. We have to hold away, we are known. He might just rate the play. Yep. Okay, so here's one opportunity I see right now. Okay, so what do you think I see at this moment?
Look to dive or gank bot because Nocturne's top.
Uh, I'm just looking to
Or Karon
dive.
jungle.
No,
Karon jungle's bot side.
I think his camps are down. Uh, what I
Oh
see
yeah.
here is that we crash the bot wave. And obviously we know what happens when we crash the bot wave, it's gonna bounce. And what it also means is that when we have the shuffle wave, again we get the vision control. So if this Heimerdinger, for example, has a Rackle, he can scan these pressures, again Nocturne on the B top side. This is kind of our moment to make something happen in the game. We can go lane gang the bot side on the bounce back. Because
Oh, true.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the kind of issue you have with this game is that okay, there's no openings for me, and that's gonna happen. It's always gonna happen, especially when you play full clear. You don't kind of get to create that chaos yourself, and sometimes no one just creates chaos, right? You just let us get capped or whatever. But that's kind of the moments when you just kind of have to. Uh, maybe we could even start flipping shit because like if we just continue the way the game is going right now, we're just gonna lose, right? We're just gonna bleed out. Uh, yes, I really dislike this pathing though. Why do I
Yeah,
dislike
like you
this
said, if I
pathing?
lane ganked right here and Zaya walked up there, she's dead.
Yeah. Another thing
Before
we
the
have
lane
discussed
push.
before with like gank pathing is we want to take the path which is least likely to be warded. So
Right, and this of course worded.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
true.
but
That's
I don't
true.
think it's warded, but like in this
Yeah,
scenario,
not in
of
this
course,
case,
it's not
but
warded.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
it's
like yeah,
low
exactly.
percentage of not being worded.
So we are here on the blue brush. Uh, us walking all the way here into the lane brush is always going to be less likely to be warded because the only really plausible ward is here or here. But since we have to push that way, it's probably not going to be warded here. But when we do walk over the river, there's a potential ward by the mid lane, for example, on the scuttle or even the jungler. Obviously not in this case. Then there's this river brush, the next river brush, stuff like that. With champions like Graves and Kindred, you can hop the wall, and then you also like that's the best gank pathing for those champs. But with someone who doesn't have any map scaling or like wall hops, we always want to take the least proper rewarded route. But yeah, now it's like it's fucking cancelled to go for this play now because they have six, they have no other side, so yeah, it's gonna be really difficult.
And like it was actually worded too. They were just baiting.
No,
The Nautilus like hooked the second I walked out of the
oh
bush.
yeah, that's right.
Like see,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
well, yeah.
So 100% worded. They're just hard baiting.
I guess we do get the Gale Force, so maybe our bot doesn't die for a minute. But yeah, this is a really difficult gank after six with this setup. So again, like what I would have liked to do against, especially against Xayah when I'm playing Diana or Hecarim, it's like you have to utilize the level six. You almost like have to kind of force the level six time out because by the time they get level six, it just makes the game so much fucking harder for you. Especially when you don't really have any other gank setup like anywhere else, right? We don't really have
Yep.
a really have a strong side here. So another thing we could do in this game, for example, is we can just keep clearing our camps and just look for the low HP targets. Like that's honestly it. We just go 12 shares per minute and hope that we can win a fight. Because at this time, like our lane is getting capped. Like there's not much to it. Okay, bot lane gets something back. We want to look for the dive. Okay, really good, awesome, really big. I like the idea at the start even. Big wave again. So this is another thing, kind of like later stages tracking. The entire game we've been patting opposite to the Nocturne, right?
Yep.
And we both play full clear jungler. So if we don't swap the order by like the order which we clear our camps in, it's probably gonna stay like that, right? So
Yeah.
that's another thing we
Yep.
can also kind of utilize. So yep, it's pretty likely that Nocturne would be bot side here as well, since our top camp spawned up, stuff like that. Yep, do get a really nice deep vision there. Damn, he just loves this. I don't want to even walk in the river at all here. So why I don't want to walk in the river is again like the will time it. So it's like that's it. A second we just have to be like really just really play around the ult timer. When you
Yep.
don't have ult, you don't get to make plays basically. What you get to do is you can like coast eat the low HP Xayah with no Gale Force. That's what you can do, but you don't get to walk into the river kind of contest objectives and stuff. So kind of the same as the last review we actually did. So we kind of focus too much on the Drake, even though it's a bad call and we know it.
In this case, I for sure, like you said, I knew this is horrible because I warded his Grump. I know he's bot side. I know he's Drake spawning, and all the lanes rotated because they're not in lane. But I just felt like I was doing
I'm sorry, your mic cut off. You were doing what? Did my mic cut off? Hello, hello. Blah, blah, blah. No, it's you. It's a you problem. Oh, fuck, I forgot to take notes. That's a weird 11 minutes game time.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear now.
Perfect. I was saying I knew for sure that was a bad play, but it's just I felt so like AFK.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I get what you mean. So you feel like the game is just slipping away, so you have to kind of, okay, I have to do something, and then you make a horrendous play. So yeah, we have to, I don't know what's the word for it.
But I was thinking if I give this up, I just felt like the game's just even worse because then he gets
Disciplined.
Drake. They're all scaling enemy laners.
Yeah.
Camille's Vlad. I thought May as well.
Yeah, that's another pit like people just love to fall into. Like, oh no, they're scaling so much harder than us. It's like solo queue. It's just like this is all about like minimizing risk, and then there's always going to be an opening, right? Like that's how kind of you have to think about solo queue still. Uh, the enemies are going to mess up. It's not the SKT you're playing against, right? So like
True,
we,
true.
we can kind of like get away with just like clearing our camps and going 12 CS per minute. Of course, sometimes like the games just do get away. Like the enemy plays too well, they minimize the risk very well. But like nine games out of 10, like probably up to like really high challenger, it's just not that likely, right? Even in high challenger, like people just flip fights all the time for no reason.
True.
But yeah, obviously really bad play. Yeah, so we know why this is bad. But yeah, I don't even want to walk up. Like again, the ult time. It's just like you don't get to make plays when you're playing Hecarim without ult.
True.
You don't get to make plays. And this also applies to like any other fucking jungler, pretty much.
Oh yeah, of
Like
course.
again, like
Without
unless
not
you're like
walking up.
piece fed, then you can like take fights. Or like in
True.
general, again, like if it's like really unfair. But yeah, now we are just giving the enemy the unfair fight. So yeah, so yeah. So I guess we kind of compensate for the lack of action in the early game, and then we just kind of start forcing shit, and it's a really bad force.
Yeah. Like when I played this game out, I knew this wasn't like a common game because all three lanes were losing, right? But I felt like I didn't know what else to do. Like I felt like I like did everything I could, but still I felt like I had no impact at all.
Yeah, stop playing wolves. I mean, that's kind of the yeah. I mean, this is kind of the reality you have to accept when you play Hecarim. You know, this champion doesn't do that well in the early game. You can really pick off the squishy targets, right? That's what this champion is good for, but not necessarily the 3v3 skirmish. He's not the best champion for that kind of stuff. What's going on here, actually? He's trying to save him. I'm not sure if you might cut off, by the way. Again, can you say something?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, if the game state was even, this would be a decent fight, right? Because we did have the
Yeah,
mid
of
move.
course. Yeah, but definitely not even game state.
Yeah. So this is kind of what I'm talking about. If you are a lot ahead, then you kind of get away with bad macro, right? So that's what the Nocturne is doing now, like forcing a fight, uh, while the
Yeah,
Swain
with
is
numbers
roaming.
disadvantage
Yeah,
because Vlad's still mid.
yeah. Uh, okay, so I guess the bad signs for this display, our top lane board is expiring. Another thing is again, like the enemy team is winning. What they're gonna do? They're probably gonna go for the objective, right? So again, like that's the best way you can fight enemies is to go for the objective on timer, right? Or like play for the objective. Um, Also, Dragon is such a strong win condition that if you are a winning team, you usually want to take the tracks as well, right? Because you kind of like have a monopoly over them. So yeah, I would be kind of I wouldn't necessarily be expecting Nocturne to be here, but I would be really scared of Nocturne because again we
Oh yeah,
know that
for
the
sure.
top camps are still up. We haven't seen him. So again, like the really huge question mark of the winning team's jungler.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to jump in with the blast cone because even though for a few seconds before we didn't see Nocturne, I just assumed he would be here because objective's up and he's super strong, so he wants to contest it.
Yeah, so
And then
yeah, I guess the thing here is that again, like we kind of the same thing as the last what we did. Uh, Actually, it's exactly the same thing as the last what we did. We kind of anticipate for the Drake fight, and yeah, the Drake fight happens. Of course, it's gonna happen. It's a Drake, but the enemy team is winning, right? And now we are here fighting for the Drake when we do have camps up. So what we could do again, we do have vision in the river, for example. Again, if Heimerdinger dies, you run Raptors already. Okay, I take the Scuttle, I take the Cromp, maybe I can look for top dive, stuff like that. But again, like we just have to avoid the enemy jungle at this point. Again, so it's like maybe we can play for the Mythic, maybe we can utilize the Mythic power spike. But again, like we can't go out kind of looking for this. Just like we have to give up the Drake, right?
yeah,
That's the main point.
same as last time.
Yeah, we just
I
have to give
didn't
up
want
the
to give up
Drake.
Drake against Trundle, but then now I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah, have to give us a Drake when losing. And like, I guess the like the mentality thing here would be just like recognize when losing on a side or on a lane even. For example, the mid lane is hard losing. I don't want to fight around the enemy mid lane as move, for example. But when the whole map is losing, we definitely don't want to fight for the Drake, right? So when do we get to take the Drake? Is when Nocturne shows on top side, right? So exactly what we did last time we got the Drake, right? So again, like we have to play reactive when we are behind. So recognize when losing and play reactive instead of proactive, right? Is that the right word? Proactive? I'm not sure. Uh, yeah, here's a 1k bounty. Maybe we could have gotten a shutdown here. I don't know. It's just, I guess the team's also like tilted as fuck.
Yeah, I thought Swain would come because he definitely gets a 1k shutdown.
This Jinx blast guy is so hilarious. But yeah. Okay, so when losing, don't play around the objective. Play around your camps, like get what you can, and when the enemy does show, then the question mark from the enemy jungle disappears, right? It becomes an exclamation mark, right? Like you know what the enemy jungle is. Okay, I have freedom. Uh, right now we don't have freedom because the enemy jungle is a question mark. I guess that's kind of the main idea I want to uh, kind of get through here. The enemy jungle is a question mark, especially when you're losing. He's like a huge question mark. Any pressure you check is can be lethal. Yeah, I mean, it's just every lane is losing. I wouldn't worry too much about this game. Uh, I don't think macro-wise it's that bad. The only like really glaring issue is like 11 and 12 minutes. But at this point, we are getting really antsy because like the game is slipping away from under us. But like, you just have to kind of keep form and kind of keep disciplined. That's just kind of like focus on good. This guy's soloing your red lag. It's out of control, man. The lane is out running rampant. Um, but yeah, we just kind of have to keep stay disciplined in these kind of games and just look for the opening. most cases the opening is gonna come. So how people play solo queue, or how people, even pros, how pros approach solo queue, is they don't necessarily play correct League of Legends. They play kind of like a risk management mini game. So you just kind of take the minimal risk, and at some point the enemy is going to plunder. Like even at the highest level, they're always going to do it. Sometimes some guys sometime going to do something bad, and then that's your moment to strike. Obviously, the higher elo you go, the less likely that is to happen. But yeah, so again, fair fight. We can't go looking out for those at all. And we did know the Nocturne is here as well. So again, kind of like the same thing. We can just take the recall here, like let the Cassandra die again. At least I get 3 camps. Again, the winning laner or the winning jungler is always going to go for the objective, right? Because this is so reliable. They
Yep.
don't want to go looking out for you in the jungle and stuff like that. They want to go for the objective. It's like, okay, that's 600 gold, I can get some plates, or I can get the tier 2, and that's like another 2k gold for my team, and stuff like that. So they're always going to go for the consistent choice, and the consistent choice is always going to be the objective. So we want to play away from that when we are losing, right?
Yep.
So again, just like take the recall, take the L, maybe look for bot side. Again, like at this point, we can start flipping shit, but not when it's 2v2 or 3v3 or stuff like that. Like it has to be at least 3v2, right? Even like even then, like it doesn't necessarily work because we're just so much behind. But I wouldn't worry too much about this game. Like it's just, I would say this is an unlucky game for sure. Um,
Fair enough.
the one thing I would like to have here is a slow push or the crash on the bot wave. That's something I would have liked to notice. So here,
Oh yeah.
826,
Link ganking.
yeah, yeah. So also had the gank routing on this one. So avoid as many potential ward as possible. And at this time, so again, so this is what I talked about last time as well. When we took the Drake and we went for the side lane play, everyone knows where you are when you take the objective. So we know Nocturne top. Bot wave crashed. We don't have Hymen ult though, but usually supports have ult here as well. So if they have CC ult, or even if like doesn't matter if they have a CC ult, if they have ult up, it already makes play a lot more likely.
True.
We know Nocturne top. Bot wave crashed. Uh, lane gang, really good lane gang cankle here. I love it. Because again, like it's gonna cause a slow push, right? And also another thing is, enemy bot lane at this point, they're feeling super fucking confident, right? They are stomping the lane. They just want to
Yep.
push in the wave. They want to get some plays. They want to even fish for Nautilus hooks, just like kill the Heimer on the turret and stuff like that. So again, we would be there to kind of negate that, or actually profit from it. So if the
Yeah,
Nautilus
that
does
could
go in,
definitely turn
he's
the game
he's
around.
definitely dead. Yeah, and also like unlike the other plays we've been making this play, or we will be making this game later, we know that this is like Nocturne cannot be here. But the other plays we did kind of after this point, there was always the question mark of the Nocturne, right?
Yeah.
But
But
now
here it's
there's no
guaranteed.
question mark. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's a really big thing, especially when we are behind. We have to go when it's kind of like uh, we know that okay, there's no way he can be here. Because and another thing is you can just uh, another thing you can kind of use is you can just play away from the objective when you are just losing. It's like play away from the objective. Objective spawns usually like, oh, you're in base. You're like, oh, Herald in 20 seconds. And your instinct is like, okay, I want to go topside so I can play for the Herald. You don't want to do that when you're losing. When you're
Yeah,
losing,
so
you
I'll
just like,
go to his, yeah,
yeah,
I'll go to his bot side instead and then take his bot side camps or bot dive or something like that.
yeah, exactly. Like immediately give it up when you recognize that okay, this is a losing position. So this is something, for example, I've been watching. I'm not. I haven't been watching lately, but last season I watched a lot of Bo, and he does this so fucking well. Like he recognizes immediately when his side is losing, and he just ditches it. He doesn't give a fuck. He has 3 camps up here. No, I don't give a fuck. He goes and dabs the bot line. Like it's so crazy how fast that guy recognizes that stuff, and that's something we obviously want to look kind of start to recognize. One big thing probably in this game would be about the comp. Uh, I just really want to gank this before they hit 6. That's the biggest thing here.
Oh
Because
yeah,
like
yep.
this game is so unplayable for your character. Like that's another thing. Like this is so fucking hard. Uh, Yeah, I mean that's just also good into know. Hecarim, I don't know, man. Really unfortunate.
Yeah, they're good to my whole pool.
Yeah, actually, you have to pick up Kindred. I don't know. Um, but yeah, that would probably be the biggest thing. Uh, so definitely for learning objective from here is to recognize losing side and just immediately give it up. Even if you have camps, like when the game state is looking like 9-2, uh, usually go up some. Like 9-2, okay, Herald is coming up. Ooh, I want to go top side. It's not here already. Like that's how you can kind of like when you arrive into these games when you're playing a full clear jungler. Obviously, you're kind of like your gameplay is kind of like scripted. You know, you just go from okay, I do full clear. Okay, there's nothing. Okay, I do a second full clear. But when you can start breaking it up, when you start losing, and okay, the enemy jungler is gonna take the objective because they are winning, so they will probably go for the objective. That's when we can kind of like ditch our camps, maybe look for plays, stuff like that. That's how you can kind of break the wheel and kind of like get outside of the really predictable, okay, full clear, full clear, full clear, oh, nothing going on, fuck, I'm 0-0-0 at 12 minutes. Obviously, games like this is going to happen, but we still want to keep disciplined and not go for these 11 minutes, just walk into fog with no ult. This is really bad. This shouldn't happen,
Yeah.
right? So again, the ult timer. In general, like the power spikes, you just have to fucking give up stuff early game, man. That's what you have to do. Or outside of you power spikes, even. I would say that's more important than even early game. So like, just play strictly for your power spikes. I don't really care too much about the enemy power spike, except for, of course, in this game, the level 6 on the bot lane. But like, I want to have at least my power spike up, right?
Yep.
So yeah, this would be like the biggest thing here. Recognize, okay, so for learning objective, recognize losing side, and you can just give it up immediately. As soon as possible. As soon as you recognize it and like learn to, okay, I don't want to go there. The enemy is going to be there. I can't contest them. Just give it up. Who cares? Obviously, there's always
True.
nuance to this kind of stuff. So, for example, if you have a really good AD dive or someone like you have a Malphite and he's playing against like I don't know, uh, Chase and someone who's bad at diving. I can't think of any jungler. Uh, but sometimes when you can kind of like counter the play, obviously we can go there. But if it's like an objective you're trying to contest, it's like don't do it. We can maybe go for the unfair fight on the bottom side again. Like the unfair fight is really big here. Um, and again, kind of the same thing as last time. We didn't get to make plays. We didn't get to make plays outside of ult timer. So this is post 6. Mm, but yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about this early game. Like it's not bad. It's just like there are so many unfortunate factors here that come for beginning. But yeah, definitely want to gank this before 6. And it's like Sai is so fucking popular now as well, and he's a really good champion into Hecarim. Yeah, just want to gank this before 6. That's like usually my main goal when they have Xayah and I'm playing ult heavy jungle like Wukong, Hecarim, Diana, right?
Yep.
Boom, 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 boom. Would add something here. Maybe again, just like play around the item bubbles by. So again, like we're kind of forcing a lot of stuff. This game and the last game we did, uh, we are fighting a lot without the item, and the enemy does have items. So again, kind of the same thing as last time. If you don't get away with a really free early game, you don't get to play like it, right? Like,
Yep.
right, we are kind of playing like we got away with the early game, but we did not. We did not at all, right? So yeah, that's probably be my biggest thing. But yeah, I mean, I get that. I get the frustration here. That's like, oh, I get 0 KP. It's so sad. But sometimes games like this is just gonna happen. But you just have to stay disciplined and focus on the good decision making. But not every game is winnable, right?
True. I definitely need this game. Like, not that it's not. I assumed that maybe this game might not be winnable, but I was just amazed that I did nothing this game. Like I feel like I was like as like useless as my teammates were. So I just want to see if I like missed something or like if I missed a big opportunity or something like that, basically.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the biggest thing here is that, yeah, I mean, at the start of the game, we weren't really part of the losing. We were just kind of in for the ride, right? But it,
Yeah, and
but
then
it like,
we contributed to it.
yeah, yeah. then we started contributing to the losing, right? So yeah, like that's kind of the bigger thing here. That yeah, like yeah, we did
I
not
just need to
achieve much,
really
but also we didn't.
discipline myself.
Yeah, we did not achieve much during the early game, but we also did not lose much. But now we started losing, right? Now we started giving to the enemy team.
Yeah, I just need like a kill mindset here or Nasus mindset.
Yeah, yeah,
Mainly, it just I wouldn't mind if we were like the enemy, if we were the team that outscales, but we're the team that falls behind from them because they have all scaling champs. So that's the extra reason why I felt so bad that we were losing early because I felt like their comp outscales ours.
yep, yeah. I mean that's
If I
true.
if we had like a
Guess
Kale mid, I wouldn't mind like giving Drake, giving Herald, but since we also lose late, I felt horrible losing early too. That's another like contributing
yeah, but we
thing to
also
the team.
like it's not like we have an early game team either.
That's true, yeah.
Uh,
We're like 50-50.
yeah, but like the way I think about this, yeah, I mean it's just like again like the enemy team is probably gonna blunder, so I want to be there before I'm 0-3, right?
True, true.
But like the biggest thing here is that even though yeah we are losing, we are kind of falling behind, or we are falling behind. Enemy team is gonna outscale us. Oh no, what we're gonna do? We are not gonna walk into fog with no ult, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like this, yeah, this is
Yep.
like, yeah, this can't happen, right? So this is something which we should avoid at all costs, right? And so like, just give it up, man. Just give it up. Okay, so yeah, just we have to give it up. Like they are gonna throw. The enemy is gonna throw. The enemy is going to throw. I don't want you to get too antsy because that's when we start making stuff like this happen, right? That's when we start actually throwing the game ourselves. It's completely fine to kind of be AFK uh, for the early game as long as you don't contribute to the losing, right?
True.
So that'd be my biggest takeaway here. So that's something probably how fucking Canyon plays. He can go like 0-0-0 the entire 12 minutes as Lee Sin while his team is like 10-0. He can still win the game, right? But like you just have to be fucking. You have to remain disciplined, right? But don't go looking for the really unlikely stuff. Just like focus on the good decision making, right?
Yep.
Yeah, but this game like your team also tilts. They start throwing around stuff like that. So yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about it. But it's just like these games are gonna happen, but we just have to remain disciplined. That would be the biggest thing actually. Sometimes they don't throw, but again, like it's how do I fucking type it? This disciplined, disciplined.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's right.
remain. But now I'm brain farting because I've been thinking about the word so much. Okay. Uh, yeah. So probably this will be actually the biggest one out of this game. So yeah, games like this are gonna happen. But as long as you're not contributing to the losses, it's a lot more likely that we will be able to turn around the game, right? Like that at least makes sense out of what I've said so far, right? If we are not throwing, it's already more likely that we will have a chance to win the game, right? Does it make sense to you?
Yeah, especially since I'm going like the scaling build too with tier and man. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, another thing is that we have to recognize, okay, uh, this isn't as unfair fight as we can actually take at this point. Because again, it's kind of the item as well here, and we are not ready to collapse all at once. If we were all 4-1, 4 versus 1 on this Nocturne, yeah, hell yeah, we get a 1k bounty. But yeah, it's so again, kind of the same thing as we had with the Trundle versus Hecarim with the Draven. Like, okay, yeah, it's like it was an unfair fight, but we were able to make it fair. It was how do I put this? We were at a disadvantage, but momentarily we had the advantage, because the enemies were so far away they wouldn't be able to help the Trundle. It's kind of the same idea as here. But actually, your team wasn't able to help you or the Heimerdinger also in this scenario. So yeah, it was still a bad fight, right?
Yep.
But yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about it. Obviously, we did also really huge hit throughout the game here at 11 minutes. But yeah, also one thing is just like pretty much Saya specific. I just really want to utilize the level 6 power spike before they get 6. Like
Oh
specifically
yeah,
Saya.
yep.
It
It's
just
like
makes it.
a Mordekaiser,
Yeah, exactly.
similar.
Yeah, really similar. Except the thing is that we get ult before they get. In the Mortar scenario, Mortar gets ult before we get. So that's something
Oh
we
yeah,
have to be afraid of. But
yeah,
the Xayah should be afraid of us being level 6 and coming to gank them immediately. Because that's what we should be doing most of the case. Especially when I think Nocturne just gave up the bot side at the moment we were hitting 6. Oh wait, he didn't. I think he was batting bot side here as well. Never mind. Yeah, Stolly Camus is probably going bot side. Okay. But that's something I always want to keep in mind. Especially when they have Saya and I'm playing a diving champion. I want to make it happen before they get 6. It's going to be so much more difficult. But yeah, do you have any questions about this one further?
no.
I want to see how it ends. Oi, oi.
There's an FFE AFK'd.
uh,
No, at least I got some LP back from that. At least he donated.
when did we lose the bot in him? That's what I'm interested. Oh no. Okay, the Siege Nexus at 17 minutes. Yeah, I mean, it's just. It is what it is. We get Mythic at around 17 minutes. But yeah. Obviously, games like this are going to happen. It's just. I would say it's kind of. It is unfortunate that all of your laners has lost their lanes as well. But again, what we want to focus on is the 11th minute play, right? And the small thing on the gank routing. Just like you want to actively think about it, right? Okay, where's the least likely batting for me to get warded? Another warding or ganking route you can take. What I love to take, for example, when I'm doing something like, okay, the enemy's gonna be heralding, I'm gonna go gank bottom, and I don't have the lane gank angle because the enemy is pushing up us, right? So what I could do is you could just run out of base through pixel brush and use the blast gun here. Then you can do the sandwich gank right
Oh yeah,
from
yeah,
behind.
yep.
It's like one of my favorites. It's kind of similar to how Nidalee Kindred craves they jump the wall, right? But you can do
Yeah,
that by just running from base. The issue is that
that's true.
you run across the pixel brush, which can't be warded. So that's like usually the only ward you're gonna run through when you go for this entire path. Sometimes there's a red ward, but it's like it's more rare for people to ward this brush here, right?
Yeah, not that common. And we're always just going for the most high percentage plays, so that's still always not best.
Yeah. Yep, and like when we have the advantage, because again, like in this scenario, Nocturne top side, we can 3v2 the bot side. But here, for example, maybe I would have liked to see the gank here. Even though we were low HP, we do get the ult here. Excited that ult. Like the issue I have with not going for this play, even though we are kind of low HP, is that by the time we are actually able to come back here again, Xyth will be 6, right?
Oh yeah, true.
So
Yeah,
that's
there's
kind
no
of the
last
problem.
chance then.
Yeah, so the Xyth is like a ticking fucking time bomb. I want to kill it before it gets 6.
True.
It's not as big of a deal when you're playing something which can actually like damage her without going melee range and getting like fucking shit ton of CC and damage. But like you cannot afford that when you're playing Hecarim Diana, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. But those would be my notes for this. What are the learning objectives? This is something I would maybe put it in the learning objectives actually. But kind of like a bonus tip. Oh fuck. What did I type? Oh, I can't go back. So yeah, recognizing loose inside. So this is probably something I would like you to kind of work on as well, kind of on the side. Obviously, out of from this spot, uh, kind of the same idea as last game as well. Just like don't go out making plays without your ult timer. So what you can do is if you want to fight for the Drake, then like save the ult. But if you use the ult on top side, you don't get to go and fight the Drake, right?
Yeah.
That's like the big
Like
thing.
if I use it for a shutdown, then I shouldn't expect to get the Drake also because I break
Exactly.
the ult.
You just give it up immediately. You can go for the regank on the top side, for example. You can go for camps or stuff like that. The regank is actually usually pretty good because if you ult gank uh, before Drake, they usually expect you to go, okay, they're gonna go Drake. But then it's just stick around, and again, like the crash wave, which you get after ganking, it's gonna bounce back, and then you could have the regank angle. It could be
Yeah,
really, really good. So this is again
I
something
never
which,
expected.
yeah, exactly. This is again something which Bo uses all the time. Like he's a fucking master of giving up stuff. you know, it's really a fucking skill. You just have to know when to give up stuff.
Definitely, yeah. I'll go work on that solo queue today.
Awesome,
Just being super disciplined.
awesome. Yeah, but yep. Uh, yeah,
Yeah, thank you for the review.
yeah. I'm gonna send the notes and I'm gonna upload this to YouTube as well if you want to check it out later. Uh,
Perfect.
but yeah, keep me posted.
Yep, thank you.
All
Have a
right.
good day.